Hi everybody, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in for another tutorial. Right, today I've got pattern number 2 for my winter selection. It's a double-sided pattern and it's made up of half double crochet. But depending on where you put the half double crochet creates its gorgeous pattern. Beautiful texture, like both-sided. Yes, it is. And it's just a one row repeat. Don't we love one row repeats? It's got like a texture that way and this way. It's quite hard to explain, but you can see how the lovely little pattern it creates, the half double crochets here. So have a look at the pattern and I'll show you how to make this and what you will need. Got this lovely I think it's called moss green. This is here in the UK and it's double knitting by Woolcraft. It's a new fashion range, and if you like this one, it's shade 39. Otherwise you can use any lightweight yarn. You can use number 4 yarn if you wish. If you're using number 3, then go for a 4mm crochet hook. If you're going for a number 4 yarn, which is Aran weight yarn here in the UK, go for a 5mm crochet hook. You can try this with chunky as well. What we will do together is do a small sample. So you go grab the materials that you have and we'll do a small sample of say 15 stitches, and you can get a feel of the pattern, and you can also get a width for whatever project you want to make, and then you can multiply upwards. Really easy to do. Let's push this aside and I'll show you how to make it. Got some of this denim blue left over. Hopefully this is clear enough on the screen. The pattern is worked just in an odd number chain, okay, so there's no particular multiples as such. Do your slip knot how you do your slip knot. This is how I do mine. And you want to, let's just chain 15, so it's an odd number. Okay, 15 chains. Just before I begin, you can, if I'm going a bit too fast, you can slow me down under the settings options. The playback settings menu, sorry, and playback options, and you can just slide it across to lower the speed. And to get to that, just click the video or pause it and you'll see a little cogwheel. I think it's at the top right of your screen, and you'll have your options there to also add subtitles on, etc. if you need, or captions. And if I get to the row before you, please just pause and catch up at your own time. The first thing we want to do is a half double crochet row, but we are going to place our half double crochet into the 4th chain, so we never count this one. If you know how to do half double crochets, then we're good to go. If not, I will show you a couple here right now before we begin. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Find your 4th chain, so yarn over, go into the 4th chain, pull up the loop and pull through all 3. This is going to be the same stitch that we're going to be using all the way through the pattern. Yarn over, go to the next chain, pull up the loop, yarn over and pull through 3. That's your half double crochet. And you want to do a half double crochet in each and every chain right till the end of the row. Okay, I've got 2 chains left. 1 and 2. If you haven't caught up, you can pause me here and catch up. Every row is exactly the same. The pattern, sorry, is exactly the same, but we're just going to alternate where we're going to put the stitches. So for, let's call it row 1 and row 2 from now on then, because that way you'll be able to understand where we're going. But it is technically the same pattern. So chain 2, flip your work. Now, let me just grab my needle. With a half double crochet, it's a very clever stitch at the top because you have your, oh, drop the needle. With a half double crochet, you have these 2 loops at the top, like you would do any normal chain. But the half double crochet also creates this loop here. So this, say for example, this is the first stitch. I will class this as even though this is the front loop, let's just class this as the middle loop. That will be your back loop. And right at the front here, I'm going to call this front loop, just for this tutorial. So we're literally just working this third one at the back here, and we're going to be working these ones at the front. And it's only the half double crochet that creates this, as far as I can understand. And we're going to completely ignore this one here. That's what creates this lovely texture. So yarn over, skip this stitch, find the next one. There's the front one, the middle one, and the back loop. Go to the back loop only and do a half double crochet. So we'll begin with a back loop and we'll end with a back loop, okay? Before we place the half double crochet on the top of that chain that we missed. So the next stitch is this stitch. So there's the back, there's the middle. Just flip your work, find that little loop there, which is the one sitting here in that line. Go into there for the next one and do a half double crochet. Yarn over, go to the next stitch. So there's your 2 loops at the top. There's your front one here. Flip it right over and go to the back. So I will call this 3, 2, and 1. So now we are going into loop number 1 here for the next one, and then for the one next to it, next stitch along, we'll go to number 3, which is the back. We're completely missing number 2. There's the next stitch here. So 3, 2, and 1 will be right here. You can see them. Let's see if I can draw it up a bit more closer to you. There will be these loops. This one, this one, this one, and there's your back ones. Hope you understand where I'm placing. If not, do drop me a message. So we've done the back one here. See, we've completely left the middle one. That's the front one here. So we go along to the next stitch, and now we're doing a front loop, loop number 1. Yarn over, go to the next stitch where it's got 2 loops. Go to the loop number 3, which is the back one. So remember 3, 2, and then 1. Next one is the front number 1 loop, and next one is number 3 loop. Next one is number 1 loop, and like I said, we started with the back number 3, we will finish with a 3. Now to see where this is, there's the front, there's the middle, and if you flip it right over here, there's the third one. So go into there for your half double crochet, and then we want to place one on the top of that. You can either go in, but I prefer to play on top of that chain. That's row 1. You can see like it goes in and out here if I show you at this angle. Chain 2, flip your work. Now we started with loop number 3 at the back, so we're going to start with the front loop this time. So we skip this one, go to the next one. So that's number 2, that's number 3, and 1 is right there next to it. Now we go to the back one. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. If you turn your work over, you can see there's 3. If you ever get confused, can you see that here it looks like it's got like a gap? You've got this stitch here, half double crochet, and there's a gap. That's just what the half double crochet creates. It's always going to be, the front loop is always going to be this one that looks like it's just over a space, but it's not. So there's your front, half double crochet, yarn over, go to the next one, go right to number 3 at the back, and half double crochet. Come to the forward one. You can see we've worked that stitch, so we need to move along to this one, and this one happens to sit on what it looks like is a space, but it's not. And the front, next stitch right at the back, loop number 3, next stitch, loop number 1, next one, loop number 3, half double crochet each and every loop, loop number 1, loop number 3, and because we started with a loop number 1 here, we're going to place one more. So there's the chain 2. Right next to this stitch that we've just done, there's our half double crochet. So that's our front, that's our middle one, number 2, and if we flip it over, you can see there's the stitch. That will be the loop number 3 at the back there. But we are doing a front one, so yarn over, right there. You can see where I've placed the hook, half double crochet, and then 1 and chain 2 at the top, and that's row 2. Back to row 1, which is chain 2. So technically, like I said, the pattern is exactly the same, but I did say it's a 1 row repeat, but yeah, you can call it 2, just so that you get so you know where you're placing your hooks. So remember, row 1 we always do the back, so you skip the first one, go to the next chain, go to loop number 3, and do your half double crochet. Then again, on each and every row, the front ones will always look like they're on top of a space. Front loop, half double crochet, loop number 1 should I say, next one, loop number 3, next one, loop number 1, and the one after, loop number 3, loop number 1, and loop number 3, half double crochet in loop number 1, and half double crochet in loop number 3, half double crochet in loop number 1, and now we should have one more, and that's going to be a back loop number 3, the one right at the back. So there's the front one, there's the middle one, but if we flip our stitch over, there's the third one right there, half double crochet, and then half double crochet on top of the chain 2, chain 2, and I'll show you row number 2 again. So row number 2 always starts with a front, so skip that one, that's the next stitch that we're using. Find your front loop, which is right there, loop number 1, and do a half double crochet. Next one, loop number 3. It will get easier because you'll be able to find these loops, and like I said, they only really exist on top of this half double crochet. If you've ever done just a half double crochet row, you'll be able to see that it creates this weird because when we're pulling through 3, we create, there's the top 2 stitches, but we also create this line at the back, which is the loop that I'm referring to as the front loop, loop number 1. There it is, can you see it's running across here? So next one is front loop, half double crochet, next one is loop number 3, next one is loop number 1, next one is loop number 3, and now we're back to, we started at the front, loop number 1 or finish with the loop number 1. There's our stitch here, so there's our chain 2, 1 and 2. There's our stitch here, this one, that's loop 3, 2, flip it right over and you'll see the little dash here at the front. That's loop number 1, and then half double crochet on top of chain 2. And that's the pattern. Feels lovely. Let me get the big piece for you. This gorgeous, gorgeous green. Just love the way it looks. Okay guys, thank you for tuning in for another tutorial. This is winter crochet pattern number 2. I haven't got any name, so I'm just going to call it number 2, so you'll know it's in the little winter section that I'm doing. So basically the winter selection is just going to be a bit more thicker and more texture, and you can use this for any project you want to make. You can make so many items with this pattern. I absolutely love it. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe, like and share this to anyone who you think might like to make it. Take care, and I'll see you very soon.